Welcome to stage 4 of the OVO Energy Tour of Britain Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show special. Riders. So that intro there, I had to dub over it because the man behind the camera forgot to check the microphone was working, and it wasn't. But it was such a good intro that I wanted to show you. So I've shot straight back home here into the office to get this part of the new show done. We're going to go back to Newcastle shortly and check out what a few of the riders said this morning, check out all the stage results and all the news from the Tour of Britain, because it is literally right now as I speak is kicking off. We'll get to that news shortly, but first let's take a look at the other stories making the headlines today. The Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. All right, so first let's talk about La Vuelta. It's rest day number 2 today, and yesterday was an amazing stage. Now, if you only caught halfway through that stage and you saw the leaders in the breakaway, you'd be forgiven for thinking that was the GC race playing out right there. You had Luis Leon Sanchez, you had James Knox up there, and also Theo Geoghegan-Hart. And like the previous day with Sepp Kuss going up the road, you had Jakob Fuglsang taking the victory. And in second position was Theo Geoghegan-Hart. Now, this guy, he's going to be... If he doesn't make it as a GC rider, he's going to be one of the strongest domestiques out there. He's going to be reliable. He's going to be solid. He's capable of not only winning GC, but also being one of those super domestiques like you see the likes of Marc Soler, or you see the likes of Wout Poels. He could be a serious ally when it comes to people winning GC if he's not himself going for GC. But it's so exciting to actually see him in a break. And again, looking stronger. Finished third the previous day, second yesterday. Is he going to get a win tomorrow? I hadn't had a look at the stage, so potentially he might. But you're all going to tell me now in the comments down below that it's a flat stage, or it might even be a time trial. I don't know. I've kind of lost interest a little bit. See, the race for GC, as exciting as it has been, it's just going to fizzle out like a bit of a damp squib. It's Roglic's to lose. Valverde has almost admitted defeat. I think he's happy taking second position. He realises he can't beat Roglic. And really, the only race now is for that white jersey and also the last place on the podium between Tadej Pogačar and also Miguel Angel Lopez. That potentially could be the best race that we see out of La Vuelta now. Who's going to take that third spot? Who's going to take that overall white Young Riders jersey? I don't know. Over the weekend just gone, we saw the cycling events taking place for the Pan America Games. I don't know what to say about this. It was all taking place in Bolivia, so we're at altitude, right? So just bear that in mind. However, the world records for both the women's and the men's flying 200 metres have been broken. And I mean broken. Flying 200 metres world record now stands at 9.100. The previous world record for the men's 200 metres was 9.347 set by Francois Pervy. Still at altitude in Aguascalientes, but still crazy fast. And here's footage of the world record. Now, one thing you will notice is he doesn't get out of the saddle when he starts his sprint, which seems to not happen anymore nowadays. Back in my day, we'd be out of the saddle coming into that final lap. And his black line intensity was terrible. Coming into turn 3, he swung right up. He was near the barriers when he came into turn 3. So you've got to think, how much faster could he potentially have gone? Maybe there was a tenth of a second right there, and he could have potentially looking at under 9 seconds. Are we going to see the men's world record go under 9 seconds? I think we are. Because I think at one point people were saying we will never break 10 seconds. But now we're almost breaking 9 seconds for a flying 200 metres. That is insane. Congratulations, Erin Hartwell, coach of the Trinidad and Tobago cycling team, as well as Nicholas Poole. And over in the women's, we have a new world record holder. And now the new world record set by Kelsey Mitchell, who, bearing in mind, was a football player up until 2 years ago. She now holds the world record for a flying 200 metres of 10.154 seconds. Now, I had a bit of a debate this morning with Tim, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. What do we think about world records at altitude? The pressure was unbelievably low up in Bolivia. So if you don't know, obviously the atmospheric pressure will determine how fast you can travel through the air. The lower the pressure, hence why they go to altitude, the lower the pressure up there, the faster you can travel through the air because the air's thinner. So come down to sea level, air's thicker, and you travel through it slower. When we used to train in the velodrome, around 1,000, if we can get it down to around 1,000 millibars, I think it was 1,000 millibars, 1,008 millibars, that was a fast day. we were like going, right, we can set some good times here. If it was above 1,020, so it's only a small window, 1,020 will be considered a slow day. So we could take that into consideration when we're completing our efforts. And if we were a bit slow on time, you know, you'd have a good explanation as to why. Over in Bolivia, the pressure was around 750 millibars, which is insane. Because one thing I think is, when we get to an Olympics, not all Olympics are ever going to be at a high altitude. Take London, for instance, it wasn't at altitude. However, fast times were set. World records were broken. But when you think to Tokyo 2020, if it's not at altitude, I've not checked yet, but if it's not at altitude, there's a good chance you won't see any world records beaten. And don't forget that the Olympics is the pinnacle of the sport. It's where the fastest people go to win medals. It's what people peak for and spend years peaking for. All I'm thinking is, when I watch the Olympics, I want to see world records broken. I want to see the pinnacle of the sport right there. And if a world record can't necessarily be broken because it was set at altitude and you just can't physically go that fast at sea level, then I kind of feel that these world records at an altitude above X amount shouldn't be world records. They should say, this is the fastest time ever, but it's not a official world record. To set an official world record, we need to be at a level playing field, and sea level is that. So potentially you go 200, 500 meters above sea level, a world record can stand. But what do you think? World records at altitude, should they stand or should they not? All right, let's talk Tour of Britain now, and we'll get the results to you shortly because the race is still on as I am recording this. However, it looks very exciting. Now, I was up at the start at Gateshead. It still amazes me, right, that every time I go to a race, the fact that the fans can get so close to these people, these highly skilled professionals, that they can literally walk off the bus and be stood next to someone, and they don't have to pay for it. They don't have to pay for the privilege of being right next to a rider and being able to talk to riders, get their autographs, have pictures taken with them. When you think of any other sport, you just can't get that accessibility. And I just find that amazing. Anyway, let's go and check out what I got up to this morning when I spoke to the riders. Eish. Alex Dowsett, everybody. Alex, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good.
Brilliant. Okay. Because Worlds are coming to Yorkshire, I'm going around checking out how much everybody knows about Yorkshire. Okay. So we've got a little Yorkshire quiz. Yeah. Do you mind taking it? I know you're from Essex and down south, so... Yeah,
so odds are stacked against me, but yeah.
Not really. I think you might do all right out of this. So I'm going to show you various celebrities, various landmarks, and places from Yorkshire that you have to tell me what they are, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, we'll start with this one.
It's Chuckle Brothers.
Chuckle Brothers, Barry and... I can't remember the other one's name. Paul.
Chuckle Brothers. The Chuckle Brothers.
Nice.
Chuckle Brothers.
Russ and Dean Downing.
What? It is.
The first king of the Game of Thrones.
Come on.
Sean Bean.
I don't know.
It's Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Ned Stark, or
AKA.
I can't remember his name, but
You don't get a point unless you know his name.
he was in whatever that war thing was. Sharp, Major Sharp. I can't.
Oh God, he's definitely out of Game of Thrones, and I forgot who he is.
You got a point for his Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah, it's King something, isn't he?
Ned Stark.
Ned Stark.
Sean Bean.
King of the North. Yeah.
No idea. Oh, I know he is, but I don't know his name. Sean. Don't know the last name.
Rhymes with mean.
Keen? No.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Is that Razorlight? Kooks. Oasis. Beatles.
Oh my God.
That Sheffield Arctic Monkeys.
What are they, busted or something?
It's Arctic Monkeys, mate.
Arctic Monkeys. I'd like a bit more Tiesto.
Come on.
No.
Arctic Monkeys.
Arctic Monkeys.
Sugar.
No.
That's Peter Crouch, isn't it?
I think we might have to end this interview now, Connor.
Football player.
Jamie Vardy, chat will get banged.
Vardy.
Nice. Easy.
That's the bridge, the big famous one
In?
in the north.
It's the Humber Bridge. What's that?
That bridge near Hull.
Which is called what?
Humber?
Well done.
Humber Bridge.
Nice one.
There we are.
Famous landmark in Yorkshire.
No.
No?
No.
At Humber Bridge, oh God, I go over that all the time.
No.
Humber Bridge.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah.
No, you weren't. Or you would have.
I was there. Beryl Burton?
Yeah, well done.
Beryl Burton?
Yes.
Beryl Burton.
Nice.
Beryl Burton.
Beryl Burton?
Well done.
Oh, yeah, she was the first Yorkshire woman to win the World Championships.
You'll be the first person to not know her name if you don't know her name.
Yeah, I'm
Come
a
on,
bit
Connor.
sorry about that. Yeah, Beryl Burton.
You got it.
Oh, God knows who he is. Yeah.
What's the film?
I haven't got a clue, mate. Go on.
I've seen it as well. No, and I'm gonna kick myself.
Kez.
Guess.
He knows Kez.
Oh, there we go, Kes. Yeah, love that film.
Okay, no, I thought it was something else.
Pass.
Kez. Where's that?
When it's pass.
Well, that looks like When It's Pass.
Well done. He's doing really well
I
here,
did my
ladies and gentlemen.
photo shoot for Gillette up there when I was
Did you?
sponsored by Gillette, yeah. In an advert with Neymar.
Not in the same advert, though.
Yeah, same
Not at the same
advert.
time. He wasn't
Yeah.
up there.
No, he wasn't in When It's Pass. No, he's kicking a football, mate.
Ooh. You should know that.
Vitus did a video up there, didn't
Yeah.
he? Oh, God. I've not ridden it, obviously. I
When
don't
it's
know
pass.
when it's passed. Alright.
Yeah, that's Mamtor.
It's not. It's not. Good effort.
What is it?
It's when it's passed.
When it's passed, yeah, the same thing.
No, it's not. Right. If your selection went off your Yorkshire knowledge, I don't think you'll be getting selected for Worlds, mate.
No, that was pretty poor.
Yeah. That was terrible. Connor,
Apologies.
you are the worst Yorkshireman I know.
Hey, God, you buy gum.
Is it in the world's course?
No.
Oh, then no.
It's when it's passed. You'll have been up it before.
Yeah, I have been up it a couple of times.
There you go. He's clearly a southerner. Alex Dowsett.
Yep.
Where's that?
When It's Pass.
Easy. Last one.
I don't know where that is. That in Hull?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half a point. It's the
Yeah.
deep.
Oh, is it the deep? Is it?
It's the deep.
Oh, yeah. My knowledge ain't very deep.
Not at all. Ben Swift, national British champion, soon to be world champion. Oosh.
Oh, be nice.
Right then, let's talk about the stage. If you don't want to know the results, if you haven't caught up with it yet, please go and do so before you come back here because there's a lot to talk about. The stage started with, well, in my opinion, a very strange breakaway. In there was AG2R rider Axel de Mont, and you also had Dylan Van Baarle in there, which was a strange combination because Van Baarle has won this in previous editions and could be a real threat for GC. However, they got up the road and then all of a sudden, Eddie Dunbar appeared from nowhere and then it got a bit serious. What a strange combination to have two potential GC riders up the road so early on in a very tough stage, which meant that Mitchelton Scott had to get on the front and they had to work all goddamn day to not only make sure that this breakaway doesn't get too far up the road, but also that they can reel it in at some point to keep Matteo Trentin in that green jersey. However, I don't think he's in it anymore. The results are still coming in now. The stage is literally just finished. If you don't know, Mathieu Van der Poel took the victory and he took it in emphatic style. He attacked with around, it must have been 400 metres to go up the climb and just... I've got no words. He looked so strong. That right there was him nailing his mast into the ground saying, "Oi, if you want this World Championship, you got to take it off this boy right here." Confirmed. He is in yellow. Second place now, Matteo Trentin. 1 second behind. Jasper de Burst is 7 seconds behind. Simon Clark, fourth. 14 seconds behind. Top British rider, Ben Swift, who finished fourth on that stage. Staying consistent. 19 seconds behind now. And there's a glut of riders all on 19 seconds. The likes of Neil Pollitt, Andre Amador, Tom Sprengers. But really solid result there from Swifty. But just nobody at all could keep the pace with that explosive attack when Mathieu Van der Poel went. However, the fact that he's just done what he's done here proves just how strong and just good form he is in. So if you can hold on to that, maintain that form, or get a little bit stronger from this, it puts a whole different outlook on the World Championships. And now the other favourites, their teams are going to be looking at this going, right, we're going to have to work twice as hard now. If we want to tire this boy out, we're going to have to work extremely, extremely hard to tire him out, to get rid of that punch that he has, that is developed from his cyclocross. And if they can do that, I believe that anybody of those favourites stand a chance of winning. And I don't think it's going to be as clear-cut. But anyway, we'll talk about the Worlds at another point. Mathieu Van der Poel, Stage 4 winner of the Tour of Britain. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you've enjoyed this Tour of Britain special. We're going to the Tour of Britain again on Friday. So if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask any professionals that are riding the Tour of Britain, leave them down below and I will try and source them out on Friday morning, and I will try and ask those questions that you leave right down below, okay? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's the most important thing I want you to do right now. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow with some more news from World of Cycling.